Parasavarna Sandhi. At the end of this lesson, we will be able to learn what is Parasavarna Sandhi, table, examples and rules. What is Parasavarna? Parasavarna is the result of two sounds which has samhita and which join. Now, in this case, the word Parasavarna means Paravarnasya Savarnaha, a similar letter of the para letter, the letter closest to the second letter. That is what we are trying to address here. Now, the letter closest to the second letter should come as Adesha, or should be associated in this Sandhi, or it should come in the result of this Sandhi. Be very careful and please hear this with great concentration. Here also the Vyanjana gets transformed. Mata putram drishtva nandati twankaroshi twankaroshi yeshaha sharvari samvatsaraha yeshaha sharvari samvatsaraha yeshaha sharvari samvatsaraha. Once again, I will read that sentence. Note the difference in how I read. Yeshaha sharvari samvatsaraha yeshaha sharvari samvatsaraha patallekhanim saha grihitavan gachallapati madhavaha nandati nam plus dati nandati twankaroshi, tvam plus karoshi becomes twankaroshi. Second one, sam plus vatsaraha, samvatsaraha. Patat plus lekhanim, patallekhanim. Gachan plus lapati, gachan lapati. So we have a lot of the rule of Parasavarna Sandhi, and understanding of Parasavarna Sandhi can be done in 3 parts. Okay. Be very careful with this Sandhi. The first, we will analyze the first part and see what is happening, what is the meaning of Parasavarna and what is the Varna which comes as Adesha. First, we will understand that. Let us take the case of Nam plus Dati. It is a Padamadhya Sandhi. That means the Sandhi is happening inside the word itself. Now, n a am, d a t i, nandati. So the Anusvara is getting replaced by Nakara. Now, what is Parasavarna, sir? Here, how is this Parasavarna and Nakara related? Now, what is the meaning of Parasavarna Sandhi? It says in these cases, Parasavarna is the Adesha. Now, para, which is the para letter here? Dakara. Dakara is a Tavarga letter. Tavarga letters, the Savarna letters of Tavarga letters are the same Tavarga letters. So, if another letter has to come as Adesha, for Dakara, the Adesha can be any of the Tavarga letters. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. But the Adesha which is going to come should be corresponding to an Anunasika letter, because the left hand side of Parasavarna Sandhi is an Anusvara. The sthana of Anusvara is Nasika Anusvarasya. The Anusvara's place of pronunciation is Nasika. Therefore, the Adesha which should come for the para letter, the Adesha which should come should be Parasavarna. The Adesha is coming in place of not the para letter, it is coming in place of the Anusvara, and it should also be an Anunasika letter. Therefore, Nandati, Nakara comes as Adesha. Anusvara is replaced by Nakara. Let us understand this through the table. Now, as I said, there are 3 parts to Parasavarna Sandhi. The first part is a first rule, which says that the Purva Varna should be an Anusvara, and you have Vargiya Vyanjanas on the right hand side. That is the first case. Now the Adesha is the Anunasika, the Varga Panchama, the fifth letter of Paravarna, which is a Anunasika letter. Na, Nya, Na, Ma. Now this is rule number 1. We will come back to this table to understand rule number 2 in a minute, after some time. After noting the examples here, we will come back to the rule. Now here the Adesha is only for the Purva Varna. Now Alam plus Chakara. Now what is happening here? There is an Anusvara above the L, Anusvara. Alam. You are having the Anusvara there. L, A, and one dot above the letter. Then you are having the Chavarga, first letter. Now what it says is Parasavarna comes as Adesha. Now what is the Savarna of Chavarga? What is the Savarna of Cha? All the letters of Chavarga become the Savarna of Chakara. Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya. Now, but the Adesha which is coming, or the transformation which is happening, should correspond to the place of pronunciation of Anusvara, which is Nasika. So which is the Anunasika letter in Chavarga? If we analyze, the Anunasika letter in Chavarga is the last letter of Chavarga, which is Nya. Therefore, Alam plus Chakara becomes Alan Chakara. Alam plus Chakara becomes Alan Chakara. Let us take the second example, Tam plus Devam. In this case also, the Savarna letters, the Parasavarna, we have to, the Adesha which should come is Parasavarna. Parasavarna, which is the Para letter, Dakara. Now the Savarna letters for Dakara are all the letters of Tavarga. Now amongst the letters of Tavarga, which is the Anunasika letter of Tavarga? The Anunasika letter of Tavarga is Nakara. Nakara comes as Adesha because the Purva Varna Anusvara is also an Anunasika letter. Therefore, Tandevam will be the correct answer. Now, this is with respect to the Vargiya Vyanjanas. Now, we will go back to the table now, because the table is there here only. The second part of the Sandhi is Anusvara plus Y, L, V. Now, this is a very important point. This Y, L, V, they are having two types of yakaras are there. Actually, yakara can be written in two ways and can be pronounced in two ways. One is just you pronounce ya. The second pronunciation is ya. So you take the nasal sound and say ya. So that is called sanunasika yakara. This is called niranunasika yakara. So yakara are of two types. Ya, la, va are of two types. One is they have the Anunasika sound along with them. They don't have the Anunasika sound, the nasal influence along with them. If they don't have the nasal influence along with them, we ordinarily pronounce as ya, la, va. If they have the nasal influence, they are pronounced as ya, la, va. Now we will come back to the example here on the left side. Tvam plus yahi. Now this is a case where the Anusvara is having an Avargiya Vyanjana and it is ya. Now ya has got two types of ya. That is the ya which has the influence of nasal sound. So Parasavarna means, now what is the Savarna of Yakara? Yakara itself. Because you cannot have Vargiya Vyanjanas as Savarna for Yakara. Therefore, Yakara itself is the Savarna for Yakara. But this Yakara should be with a nasal sound. Therefore, we are telling Tvam plus Yahi will become Twayahi. And that is written with the Chandrabindu on top. Same way, Bhagavat plus Leela. Here you have Lakara. It is an Avargiya Vyanjana. Therefore, the Savarna for Lakara is Lakara itself. but with a sanunasika, with an anunasika symbol on top, so that we pronounce it as Bhagavat Leela is pronounced as Bhagavan Leela. Gunavan Likhati. Now Bhagavat Leela, Bhagavat Leela I have to explain with the another rule. When we have tavarga on the left hand side, ta, tha, da, dha, this is a third case. When we have the tavarga to the left hand side, ta, tha, da, dha, na, and la on the right hand side, only la, then you get lakara. T, l becomes l. That is Bhagavat Leela becomes Bhagaval Leela. Bhagaval Leela. Gunavan plus Likhati will become Gunavan Likhati with an Anunasika, because Nakara has got, the left Nakara has got a nasal influence. Now let us see again, once again. Alam Chakara, Alan Chakara, Tam Devam, Tan Devam, Tvam Yahi, Twan Yahi, Bhagavat Leela, Bhagaval Leela, Gunavan Likhati. So na is also a tavarga letter here, Gunavan Likhati, but it is having a nasal influence. And you are having a savarna in lakara with a nasal sound. So you have a nasal lakara, Gunavan Likhati. Therefore, that nasal lakara comes. The first part of Parasavarna Sandhi is Anusvara followed by Vargiya Vyanjana, becoming the Panchama Varga Panchamas. The second is Anusvara followed by Ya Lava, becoming the nasal Ya, nasal La, and nasal Va. That is Sanunasika Yakara, Sanunasika Lakara, Sanunasika Vakara. Then you have Tavarga, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, followed by Lakara, becoming Lakara. Then you have Na followed by La. It is also a Tavarga letter, but here in this case, the Lakara becomes Sanunasika. So ideally speaking, you have 4 cases, but we can take it as 3 cases of Parasavarna Sandhi. Now we will understand the rules of case 1. The case 1 is when it is in the Padamadhya Sandhi, like we had Nandati and the previous example Alan Chakara. When you have in the Padamadhya Sandhi, then the Sandhi is mandatory. Yada Padamadhye Anusvarat Vargiya Vyanjanani Parani Bhavanti, Tada Anusvarasya Sthane Tattat Vargasya Panchamaha Varnaha Adeshaha Bhavati. It is a Sandhi is compulsory here. The Anusvara is within a word and it is followed by Vargiya Vyanjana. Anusvara is replaced by the 5th letter of the corresponding Varga. Now, the rule for this is Anusvarasya Yayi Parasavarnaha. If you go to the Yai Varna is Haya Varat Ya, from there to Kapaya, that. So it represents all the Vargiya Vyanjanas. Even if you consider the last letter, still the Sandhi will be the same. Parasavarna will happen. Anusvara plus Yai will give Parasavarna. Case 2, you have the Vikalpa, where Anusvara comes at the end of a Padanta. It is at the end of a word. Then Vikalpena Adeshaha Bhavati. That is case 2. When you are having Ya, La, Va, then the Sanunasika Yakara, Lakara, Vakara comes as Adesha. So if Anusvara is at the end of a word, it is optionally replaced by the Anunasika letters when followed by Vargiya Vyanjanas. In the case of Anusvara followed by Yuvul, the Anunasika variety of that letter will be the Adesha. Now, Va Padantasya. Now, this is the rule for the case 2. Padante Anusvaraha, Yoge Yai Varnaha, Parasavarnaha, Vikalpena Adeshaha Bhavati, because it is at the end of a Pada. The case 3 is the Tavarga case. When Tavarga comes at the end, Tavarga and Lakara. So Lakara is preceded by the Tavarga, then Tavargasya Sthane Lakaraha Adeshaha Bhavati. Yada Nakarat Lakaraha Paraha Bhavati, Tada Nakarasya Sthane Anunasika Lakaraha Adeshaha Bhavati. So when a Tavarga is followed by Lakara, Tavarga letters are replaced by Lakara. When Nakara is followed by Lakara, Nakara is replaced by Anunasika form of Lakara. Case 3 can be easily remembered by the sutra Torli. Torli means Toho represents the Tavarga letters. Li represents Lakara. So when Tavarga is followed by Lakara, we get Lakara. If it is a fifth letter, we get the Sanunasika Lakara.